Hey artists, today we're going to draw and paint this axolotl. Make sure you have a pencil, an eraser, a Sharpie, watercolor paper, watercolor paints, a glass of water, paintbrushes, and a paper towel. It's important to have the correct supplies for this style painting, especially the watercolor paper and the Sharpie. Let's go ahead and get started. Alright, first thing we're going to do is grab our pencils and we're going to start with the head. We're going to kind of draw a C, sideways C shape like this. And then from these 2 points, we'll go down, up, and then down again. And then we'll draw the little mouth like this. We should have this shape, and then we'll draw the eyes in. Just 2 big circles with 2 little circles inside of each, like that. And we'll draw these off the side. So we're just going to draw kind of like that, like that. And then we'll go around that one and around this one, and then we're going to do that 2 more times on both sides. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2. Okay. All right, next thing we're going to do is start on the body. So we're going to start with a shape that looks kind of like this, and we're going to erase a couple lines. So kind of curve out and then back in into kind of a silly shape like this. And then we're going to connect from here to here and around. That's the tail. Okay, and then we're going to draw in some feet. So kind of like a sideways U shape 2 times like that. And then on the other side, we're going to kind of curve it out and then back in, and we're going to erase a little bit of that line. But first, let's go ahead and do this like 2, just like this. Okay, so for this little line here, we'll just erase a little part of that. You can leave a little bit there so it looks like it overlaps, kind of like this. And then same with this one. You can leave a little tiny bit there so that it overlaps a little, just like that. All right, next thing we're going to do is grab our Sharpie, and we're going to go ahead and trace all those pencil lines that we made. You can make some of these outside lines a little bit thicker and then some of the inside ones thinner. That just gives it a little bit more dimension. All right, after we're done with our Sharpie, we'll go ahead and start on our next step. All right, I think I'm all done with my Sharpie. So next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and take my eraser and erase any pencil marks that I can still see. All right, I'm going to go ahead and grab my paintbrush, and we're going to go ahead and start painting. You can also grab your paper towel in case we need it. First thing we're going to do is just wet our brush and kind of make the face of this axolotl wet, just damp. You don't want it to be like super wet. You can do the mouth too. And we're going to go ahead and grab our pink color, unless you'd like to make yours a different color. We're going to start on the outside of this face. You can add a little more water if you need to. So you can see I'm going around the outside edges. And then I'm going to fill in the whole mouth. And then we're just going to take some water and kind of blend it into the middle. It should end up being lighter in the middle and darker on the outside. You can add some more if you want, especially down in here. Just keep blending until you're happy with the color that you have. But you want the outside edges to be a little darker just to give the face kind of a rounded appearance. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start on the body then. So I'm going to do the same thing I did before and kind of make this all wet. can see there's still a little pink left in my brush, which is okay because we're going to paint it pink anyway. Okay, so for this, we're gonna make it darker right under his like chin here, and also right under the feet where there would be shadows. Bottom edges of the feet. And then you can kind of start blending that in. If you need to blot any extra water off, you can just dry your brush on your paper towel, and you can, you can take your brush and wipe it on your paper towel there from your picture. So if you get too much, for instance here, you can just dry your brush, pick it up, and then dry it again. I'm actually gonna add a little bit more pink though to certain spots where I want it a little darker. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. Next thing I'm gonna do are these things on the side of his face. I'm not really sure what they're called, but we're gonna do the kind of the same thing we did before. Make it wet and then add some paint. I did make it a little bit of a brighter pink in the middle. First I'm going to get this base color on, and then we'll go back and add some brighter pink over top. And do the last one here. Okay. Now this part down on the bottom of the tail is darker as well, so I'm going to take some more pink here, and I'm going to go over that. I actually even used a darker pink, I believe, with my sample there, but you can see I'm going over top of this pink that we already did, and it's making it darker. I'm only doing it in the middle section so that the middle of each of these are darker. Okay, and like I said, if you want it to be different pink, a brighter pink, you can go in with that brighter pink like this. Make it stand out a little bit more. Just like that, and the same with the tail. Okay, I'm going to go ahead with this belly and kind of blend this just a little bit better. When you keep adding layers to watercolor, it gets darker as you go, as you add more and more layers. So that's a good way to make it darker if you need it darker. Just kind of let it dry a little bit and then go back to it in a little bit. Okay. All right, so you can see that this axolotl over here has a little bit more color to it. That's because I added some yellow, or some orange actually, to certain spots, and we're going to go ahead and do that now. If you want to skip this step, you can. If you don't, this is just a way to get it a little bit more color since it's just all pink. So I took a little orange on my wet brush here, and I'm just going to kind of go over that certain spots. I'm going to start on the face, and then I'm going to take some water and kind of blend it in. You could do this with yellow too if you want. And you don't want too much. You don't want it to turn into an orange axolotl, unless you want an orange axolotl. But we're just trying to add just a little bit of color so it kind of pops a little bit. So you can see I'm just kind of doing the tops of these, and I'm doing it very, very lightly so that it's not taking all the pink away. I'm going to go ahead and do it with this arm here, all 4 arms near the top. Kind of like if the sun was hitting it, it would be hitting the tops of the arms. A little bit here at the belly, a little bit down here along the back. And then you can just grab some water and blend anywhere that needs blended. All right, I think I'm all done with my axolotl. If you enjoyed doing this art project with me, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to see when I release new videos. I would love to make art with you again soon. Most importantly, keep creating. I'll see you next time. Bye.